Sarah is a photojournalist, a pregnant woman, a mother-to-be, who survives a car crash killing her partner, Mathieu, leaving Sarah traumatized by the violent loss. During Christmas Eve, preparations are made for Sarah's due date on Christmas Day, the shadows of grief and isolation continuing to loom months after the violent collision. Alone on a quiet Christmas Eve night, Sarah's evening is interrupted when an enigmatic woman arrives at her front door requesting to use the phone to call for help, claiming her car has broken down. However, it is gradually revealed that this woman has a violent intent. She wants Sarah's child, no matter what. This is Julien Maurice and Alexandre Bustillo's Inside, known in the original French as À l'intérieur, a new French extremity horror film that, while never shying away from extreme depictions of gore and hellish violence, also effectively demonstrates a clever inventiveness in its creation of suspense, crafting imaginative obstacles, twists and turns that complicates the seemingly simple task of escaping one's own home, reflecting the anxieties that surround motherhood and parenthood, childbirth, grief, and home invasions. Inside portrays these events with such a concise ease, without breaking a sweat, remaining a swiftly paced, hyper-violent, tension-filled horror with little room for breath. The blood-soaked mutilations of Inside are mostly practical-based effects, offering a sense of realism and authenticity for the film's most shocking spectacles. With every heavy stab of a pair of scissors, deep cuts and believable gushes of blood accompany the effect, allowing the impact of the violence to continue lingering long after the scene finishes. Each violent action clearly takes its toll on the characters, affecting Sarah's slimming chances of escaping to safety. Not only do the special effects look impressive, they're imaginative too. Acts of violence are committed within Inside that may be difficult to imagine within the viewer's own most uncomfortable of intrusive thoughts. A large pair of scissors piercing Sarah's belly button, Sarah's hand impaled with the same scissors, restrained through a hole in a locked door, restricting Sarah's ability to move. A clean stab to the forehead, leaving the victim with irreparable brain damage. Inside isn't solely just visually violent, but its level of imaginative brutality is bound to provide unpredictable winces to most viewers. However, Inside isn't simply just a demonstration of gory effects. The film reflects the relatable fears and anxieties which surround motherhood and parenthood, grief, childbirth, and home invasions. The fear of a violent home invasion, no matter the motivation, is provided within the film's direct premise of an enigmatic woman with unresolved issues with Sarah breaking into her home. The anxieties of childhood and parenthood are presented in moments of nightmares, such as Sarah suffering a coughing fit, leading towards vomiting, and even birthing her child from her mouth. But in less extreme scenes, these similar anxieties are presented, such as during a scene when a smoking nurse reveals to Sarah that the firstborn child is hell to deliver, fixating on the pain and challenges of childbirth rather than the potential joys of parenthood, the kind of anxiety-triggering remarks that many new parents do not want to hear, especially when birthing experiences differ from parent to parent. The anxieties of grief are portrayed throughout Inside too, as months after the collision and the loss of her partner, Sarah still remains distant towards those closest to her, even fantasizing about Mathieu holding her once again, a comforting thought soon disrupted by the eruptive reminder of the car crash, an experience that continues to loom over every step she takes closer towards motherhood, challenging any sense of optimism and reassurance like antenatal depression. These aspects are all understandable anxieties and traumas that Sarah struggles with, making it very easy to empathise with her fears when faced with the intrusion of an enigmatic woman who plans to violently take her child. Many parents who may struggle with coping with antenatal depression, postnatal depression, intrusive thoughts and trauma may seem distant, but that doesn't necessarily suggest they wish to be rid of their child. In the case of Sarah, she is adamant to protect herself and her baby despite depression and trauma. Most parents who have struggled with similar issues to Sarah, most parents-to-be, are bound to relate and empathise with her struggles here, reinforcing that Inside is more than simple gory shock value. One of the film's most significant strengths is the performance of the brilliant Béatrice Dalle as the malevolent antagonist, mysteriously credited simply as La Femme Béatrice Dalle, no stranger to the roles of unpredictability and instability, revels in the furious cruelty of a figure burning with resentment towards a woman who is soon to be a parent, whereas Dalle's character has had that dream dashed due to the initial car crash. One of Inside's most enlightening revelations is that the survivor in the other car was Béatrice Dalle's character, also a pregnant mother-to-be, but whereas Sarah's unborn baby survived the crash, La Femme's unborn baby did not. Therefore, every action delivered with aggressive enthusiasm convincingly by a furious Dalle performance is motivated by grief, the loss of a child, and the dangerous actions of someone who wishes to overcompensate for this loss by forcefully taking the child of the survivor, contrasting with Sarah's own coping mechanism for loss, to remain distant and isolated. Inside is dripping in clever uses of obstacles that complicate matters like this, utilising inventive ways to refresh the sense of suspense during every scene, such as when Béatrice Dalle's La Femme pretends to be Sarah's mother as Sarah's editor, Jean-Pierre, visits during the night to check on Sarah's well-being. This scenario is complicated, creating uncomfortable obstacles once Sarah's actual mother arrives to comfort her daughter, leading to Jean-Pierre to question who the strange woman is who previously sat with him. Another example is when police officers arrive to check up on Sarah, Béatrice Dalle answering the door claiming to be her, only for the police to realise La Femme is not pregnant, as reported by previous visiting officers, leading to the end of their shift officers searching the home. A brief sense of relief that help has arrived is disrupted once La Femme's solution to this obstacle is to leave no survivors. While many viewers may fixate on the extreme nature of the film's violent content, Dalle's performance and how it lends itself to creating uncomfortable suspense, solving difficult obstacles with brutality, is where Inside truly shines. In conclusion, Maurice and Bustillo's Inside remains a popular favourite of the new French Extremity movement, its levels of violence surrounding childbirth and parenthood not only causing a visceral discomfort regarding the safety of ourselves and the safety of innocent young lives, but the film also demonstrates an intelligent condensation of story obstacles, complicating matters to such an uncomfortable level that the only possible solution is truly volcanic. Thoroughly uncomfortable, and never overstaying its welcome, Inside deserves the attention of anyone fearful of impending parenthood. A special thank you to my incredible tier Patreon supporter Gil, and my super tier Patreon supporters Constantine Bombelli and Victoria.